white zaddy, my white zaddy. Why Charlie Kirk is my white zaddy? Why you gotta be a white zaddy? Kirk, my daddy.
Officer Tatum decided to do a response video sponsored by Israel and AIPAC. And
you know, it's fair game to criticize people. It's fair game. We're internet people. I'm not gonna sue nobody over fair criticisms.
All right. To catch everybody up to speed. So basically, they made a video about him last week about the whole not crying in front of like your wife bit, right? Because he was on the podcast, I guess either months ago or a year ago, 2 years ago, whatever it was, right? And he basically said that, yeah, I wouldn't cry in front of my wife, and I would cry. It's best for me to be strong, right? So their response was, it's kind of stupid because you crying in front of a person you barely knew, and you wouldn't cry in front of your wife, but you cried in front of like millions of people, right? And it didn't make any sense. But we gonna let them carry on in the video.
for context, in case you aren't aware, we did a video in which we talked about Officer Tatum. There was a viral video going around of him from a podcast 2 years ago where he said,
I would never cry in front of my wife.
Someone asked, what happens if your kid dies? He says, I would try not to cry in front of her. If I go to my father's funeral, I ain't crying, all this stuff. Sure enough, he found out Charlie Kirk passed and turned on his live stream and decided to drop some tears for everybody.
Yes, and this is what makes Brandon Tatum such a clown, because you're crying over a guy, right, who says some crazy things about black people, right, was a piece of shit, and he's like, but he's my friend. But see, here's the thing. Everybody knows this about Brandon Tatum, about how he was going up against black people for a very long time. He's another one of these turncoats and shit like that. The fact that I would never get over the fact this dude said Rosa Parks had a car and she didn't need to be on that. I wanted to beat that. I said, you fucking piece of shit. Like, how you gonna say some shit and then say, yeah, black people, them roaches, man, they do be terrifying white people, man. They think about white people every single day, by the way, too. Them shit's nasty though. Like, I swear, this fucking guy. Like, I could go on a tantrum on this fucking guy because he's crazy, right? He's absolutely trash, because anybody would know, like, first off, why would you turn on your own people though? And then what if like one day his wife leaves him, right? You know how much jokes and people gonna be making about this guy? Like, he championed white people for so much, like an Uncle Ruckus, to the point where now she left his ass. I'm kind of hoping that happens though. I don't know. I'm not an angry guy. I'm not a spiteful guy to a degree, but it's just, I don't know. Maybe something can happen. Something interesting can happen. Like, yeah, my wife left me. I'm like, yay, you fucking loser. Carry on.
So people, splice those two together. And it was kind of funny to say you would never cry, but then you're on stream crying for the whole world, right? He didn't like that. He was quite upset that we was laughing at that.
But to take a video from 2 years ago, to somehow leverage that to make fun of me for crying, tearing up, when Charlie Kirk was murdered, is insane to me.
That you're missing the point. The point was not, we're not laughing at you because you're the person that you admired died. We laughed at you because of the irony of, okay, you wouldn't cry in front of someone close to you because someone else close to you would die, but someone that is remote, you're gonna cry in front of the whole world. That's the thing that is laughable.
But for you to be so disgusting, and you see your friend get murdered on television, I could imagine what that does to his kids. And to try to make fun of somebody for that is the lowest that you can go. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com, ladies and gentlemen, Black Friday is here. 30%.
Hey, yo, what the fuck? How are you out here plugging merchandise and you're really supposed to be talking about a serious topic? Well, he's supposed to be talking about a serious topic about Charlie Kirk, but he's out here saying, whoa, come in my store and buy my merchandise. When I tell you Brandon Tatum is trash, this man is just, you know what? He sort of reminds me of that situation that happened a few years ago with Tommy Sotomayor, when he came to Harlem and he was saying, you know what? Black women are garbage and they trash. And then those dudes was looking for him at the time. It was like, yo, come on outside, Tom. if some shit happens in the future, I'm not saying if it does. If some shit happens to Brandon Tatum, nobody's not gonna care.
I could care less.
% off, up to 60% off.
What the hell did I just notice? What happened? What happened? What kind of jump cut was that?
It's not a jump cut.
It is.
It's not a jump cut. I can play the original video. Watch how he goes from like, how dare you? By the way, why don't you buy these shirts so you can move in style?
But for you to be so disgusting, and you know, I was at his wedding. I know his wife. I could imagine what that does to his kids. And to try to make fun of somebody for that is the lowest that you can go. This video is brought to you by TatumStore.com. TatumStore.com, ladies and gentlemen, black.
You see, I bet if it was Breonna Taylor, George Floyd, right, Freddie Gray, Trayvon Martin, right, all those people who passed away either because of police brutality or involvement with the police, right? And if it was like, let's just say it happened like today or yesterday, right? You know how fast he and the rest of these clowns is going to get, well, you know, they was drug dealers. Well, you know, they was bad. And, well, you know, they had crimes. And it's like, and it would be like a massive thing. Well, you know, it is what it is and shit like that. Or I didn't see it. Or, you know what, I don't care. It's just damn. And the way that people is getting exposed these days, like especially like the Hodge twins, when like the whole Mason Lucas, you know, situation when he was on the their podcast, and I think Kevin most likely said, I don't give a shit about black. It's like, golly, damn, like, oh my God, like, I don't know. I don't know. Like I said, these people just getting exposed left and right, but carry on.
Black Friday is here, 30% off, up to 60% off on the entire store. And that means every single product. This section here is for 60% off.
Now, did I edit that shit? Is that me? Bro, what you want me to do? It wasn't me.
This is triggering for him, and I get that. So
And that's why he was so triggered, he had to do a merch sale. When I'm triggered, that's what I do too. I'm mourning that my nigga, buy my sweatpants so you could stay warm in these cold times.
Don't forget to buy these shirts. Don't forget to buy these shirts. We got the merch. Buy these shirts.
Let me make sure I know exact. 2 years ago about men crying.
They're taking a clip from something I said 2 years ago.
Okay, and why is he saying 2 years ago, right? He's, why would you use something from 2 years ago? All right, he's trying to hint that there's something wrong with doing that.
They're taking a clip from something I said 2 years ago, and which is not 2 years ago. I believe the same thing today, but
so who cares?
Yeah, Brandon Tatum is a village idiot. Like I don't, like, this isn't new. It's just like he's really stupid. Like he's really stupid. Like I don't know what type of white meat he's been sucking on for these past few years, but it really is it's really changing him, you know. It's just, you know how when you get down and dirty with a female and you like, you know, there's juices that get flushed out of her, right? And from whatever reason, it's just, I don't know, Brandon Tatum is like he digested the wrong type of juices to the point where it made him stupid. So anytime he was hanging around with white people, it just made him more stupid. And his intellect and his he's so damn dumb. Fuck that. Let them continue.
So who cares if it was 2 years ago, 5 minutes ago, 5 years ago? If you still believe the same thing, that means that video is still relevant today. So it doesn't matter. We did it 2 years ago. It doesn't matter.
But why would you use a clip from me from 3 years ago saying I'm an atheist?
Your argument.
I'm still an atheist. But why would you use a clip from 3 years ago saying I'm an atheist?
I didn't.
I don't believe in God. I'm never gonna believe in God. Why use a clip from 3 years?
Myron, calm down.
But you have to appreciate the fake outrage. 2 years ago. Why would you use a clip from 2 years ago? I still think that today. Then shut the fuck up. Like, why are you acting like you ain't used older clips to make a point against somebody politically? And if you still, you know, I'm the retard. Because I remember when we did the other video, I said, you know, to be fair to him, this video was from 2 years ago. Maybe he changed his opinion. And his dumb ass, no, I didn't change my opinion. I still think this, but how could you use it?
Weak men are viewed as unattractive. You can make the argument that crying can be viewed as a weakness.
Listen to what he said. that crying could be, that's what he said, that crying could be a weakness.
What? So
You know,
you said you never, ever, you went outcast on us, ever.
If you have been enjoying this video, make sure you like, make sure you subscribe.
just watch how cowardly he's gonna be. He just doesn't want to own what he's
You
saying.
say you had men cry in front of you. That's why you're not with them.
Sometimes I look up videos of like army dads coming.
So you heard that? He said to the woman, "Oh, you saw a man cry in front of you. That's not why you're not with them," implying that something is wrong with men crying, and that's why a woman wouldn't want to be with them. Keep watching.
Because women judge men very harshly on that. I would never cry in front of my wife.
There are like a lot of like different fundamentals of like the reason why like men don't really cry in front of women. I mean, yeah, you have like the obvious one where they will take advantage of you, they will tease you, they will mock you. Some of them, not all of them, but you do have like those majority of women out there who would say something like, I guess like, oh, like he's crying, oh, he's a loser, or he's this and that. You do have those ones, right? But you do have some women out there who genuinely like will feel appreciated, like if the man is opening up and he's more like emotional, and she's not gonna like use it against him and say, oh yeah, I remember when you was crying about your dog died or something. So you do have like some women out there who's genuinely I guess like appreciative towards their man, and they won't like do half of the things that he's talking about. I mean, not like I said, you have some out there who are evil and who will say, well, that's why, your uncle went in your bedroom or sister, and then they would kind of like use that against you. So I can understand to a degree why would some men would not say anything and they would just keep stuff to themselves and keep it close to the vest. I can completely understand that. But again, not all women are like that though. So for him to say that is just, I don't know what's wrong with this fucking guy. Carry on.
You see him say could there? And he would say he would never, and he says women judge men for that.
But I admired the guy that said the reasons why he wouldn't cry, because he needs to be strong for his father. And every man, in my personal opinion, would want to have that perspective.
I will try not to cry in front of anybody. There's compulsion for me to cry at times, and I will not do it in front of people. I saw my father cry one time, and it was at his father's funeral.
So you think if a man shows his emotion makes him a less man?
No, I just think men shouldn't do it. I know when emotions happen to me, and I refrain from exposing that emotion in front of people. You say you had men cry in front of you. That's why you're not with them.
Sometimes I look up videos of like army dads.
We need to just be straight. It is mentally ill to believe it's normal to not cry in front of your wife, but it's normal to cry on the internet. Sorry, that's weird. Now, I could be generous and say, I agree with the sentiment that during a time of crisis, you guys are in the heat of battle, you guys are dealing with something that's an emergency, that you're going to put aside your emotions to deal with what's in front of you. That's a super normal statement.
That's not.
But like, the problem with a lot of these characters, like Tatum, is that they live in absolutism because they're like doing this like alpha male, very strong man, like super traditional fucking cosplay. And
also, it's not really realistic though, because if he's saying like, a man should not cry ever, but just like don't cry in certain circumstances, it's like, no, that's kind of impossible. Because if something was to happen either to your family member or child, like you're gonna like bawl down and start crying. Or if something happens to a kid, if he's in a fire or something, and you're not sure if he might make it out that fire, obviously like you will be emotional about it. So for him to say, well, I'm gonna be Batman all the time and I'm not gonna feel anything, that's impossible. There's not like one of those vampire shows like, I don't know, Vampire Diaries or the originals where you can turn off your emotions at any point and just be rock solid forever. It's like, no, that's impossible. You can't do any of that. So half of the things that they was really teaching in the manosphere was really bullshit, because they saying you should be hard all the time and don't shed any emotions or cry. But it's like, no, men do cry. It's just he's making it sound like they shouldn't at all, and only when they by themselves. It's like, I don't know who is telling them this shit, but that's not possible. That's not real life. I don't know. Carry on.
it's just not real. It's not in real life. Guess what, guys? Soldiers on deployment, they cry. They might not cry when bullets are flying overhead, but when they get back to the barracks and they deal with the day's stress, maybe not that moment, but the day after or the week after, some of them break down, cry. And if you think the other soldiers are going to look at them like, you a bitch, you're crazy. I've seen soldiers, police officers, deal with situations that are completely crazy, and you see them run off to the corner because something is traumatic, and they cry. And if you think that other men are like, we can't do our job because one officer over there is tearing, that's not real. And that's why people are laughing at you, it's because you're trying to uphold this image of men that's not real. Men are human. We deal with stressful situations the way that you were dealing with Charlie Kirk. And sometimes we break down and we can't control it the way you're pretending you can. We're laughing because there's hubris in thinking you're going to control grief. You're going to control all your emotions whenever you want. That's how you was talking. We're laughing at you because you said you would never do this in front of the one person who should be able to see you at your most vulnerable.
That's true. That's 100% correct. Like, he didn't say anything wrong there. Now, it's like I said, depending on the woman that you're with, sometimes, she could probably throw this back in your face like 10, 20 years later. Oh, that's why you was crying, because you do have some vindictive people out there. Because you look at, what's his face? What's his damn name? Oh, Jay-Z. Not Jay-Z. Drake. Fuck, not Drake. Dr. Dre. Sorry. I had a brain aneurysm. Dr. Dre, because when he had a divorce with his wife, and I think, what's this shit? I think she threw the divorce papers after his either grandfather's funeral or in a casket or some crazy shit like that. I'm like, damn, like, what the fuck happened there? Like, something like that. Like, I can agree to a certain points, because about keeping certain things to the vest and this and that, but tears, no. Like, if the birth of your child, there might be tears. The death of your child, there might be tears. Well, I'm sorry, there will be tears, right? So that's impossible. Like, half the things he's talking about, that's impossible. That's what's absurd. Y'all cry on the internet, but you won't cry in front of your loved ones, and you think that's not mentally unwell. I don't even care. And personally, I know Preacher's not like this. Preach says, I don't want to see you cry online, whatever. He doesn't like that shit. I personally don't care. I just think this standard of, like, I won't cry in front of the people who've known me my whole life, but I'll cry for strangers. My wife will be destabilized because she sees me. Do you not understand that women are not retarded creatures? That women can also be tough during stressful times, that women can sometimes be your rock when you're going through something. It's not just one-way street.
Listen, bud, what I understand from this is this. You lied. Or you thought you was that one and you're not. Kid would die, you would cry. And I think that's okay. If your dad would die, he would cry. And if not, but you cry for you're weird. Extremely weird. And right now, you even see this and you don't comprehend that, because I understand the triggers, whatever.
All right, everybody in the comment section down below, I want you to, so if anybody was to, like, pass away and you felt like deep remorse for it, would you cry, right? Would you cry in silence, or would you cry in front of, like, your loved ones, right? Because, like I said, it really depends on certain people, not everybody, but would you, like, cry in front of your loved ones and just like, man, my father, my mom, my uncle, my brother, my sister, my dog, like, man, and it just breaks you, right? Because I have never met anybody who sat there and said, nah, I'm just gonna be stoic and not allow this to affect, and that's impossible. Unless there's something seriously wrong with him, unless either he's a sociopath, psychopath, and he doesn't feel no emotions at all, then you have people like that. But if he's not in those categories, then there's something seriously wrong with him. And like Preach said, he's weird.
Generous. You're being generous.
I'm always a generous one.
Yeah, you're being very generous.
Yes, very.
This is how you frame it.
The reason why he's doing that is he's triggered because there was laughter, there was his friend. But no, you would cry. If you cried for that, you would cry for your family.
This is how you dodge accountability. You frame it against the argument that you think you can win against, which is like moral outrage. Oh, they laughed at me. Listen, if we were laughing at people because they were mourning the death of Charlie Kirk, I would have made videos about Megyn Kelly. I would have made videos about all the other content creators who we didn't. So to pretend like people just want to laugh at you because you cried, that's you just being a victim. You enjoy that because it's the one road you can win down. You didn't mention any of the things that we said, which is fine. You just went, oh, can you believe that they laughed at the death of and Massa? Massa is so good to me. And they cried, they laughed. You want to buy my shirt? $5.99. Man, it's Charlie Kirk. That's what he did. He did a performance, and he was gripping people emotionally.
I mean, ever since the whole Charlie Kirk's passing, I wonder if, like, Brandon Tatum would just, if he was like so, I guess, pissed about it, if he was so pissed about it, and try to like send Charlie Kirk's fans after Abba and Preaching, like, well, see, they was out there making jokes, they was making music and songs about this man's passing and shit like that, but they don't really understand like the concept of the joke that they was making because of the people that they was coming to the defense of Charlie Kirk, and not realizing that Charlie Kirk was just saying he was like on the border of a Nick Fuentes, where Nick Fuentes went over the border, right? He already crossed the line, but Charlie Kirk was playing with the line, like he was still, it was still wrong in half the things he was saying, but he was like playing with the line. That's why Nick Fuentes and him sort of had a disagreement. They was upset at each other because he wanted him to cross over the line like he did. But to defend that and then not understand the joke and the music, it's carry on.
Right? And it's funny to me because I grew up in this internet age where I heard how fucking emotional libtards are and everything like that. But you realize like these motherfuckers, they all love to do this victim shit whenever they get criticized.
What if your kid died?
That's a different thing. I mean, I would try not to cry in front of my wife.
All right,
if my kid.
I have never, and my wife has never seen me cry. I've never cried in front of my wife.
You think that the whole internet saw you, dude? The person that is the most close to you is not gonna see it, but you can expose yourself like an up-and-coming model to everybody else.
My God, you're just not conservative enough. You're not conservative enough because conservative women don't have internet. What's that talking about?
I heard a guy say this, is that when my father passes away, which everybody's parent is going to pass away, I'm not going to cry at his funeral.
So as you listen to it, I said I saw a clip of a guy say that I'm not going to cry at my dad. I didn't say I wasn't going to cry at my dad's funeral. I said the guy that I admired had said this. I didn't say I wouldn't cry at my dad's funeral. I just said I'm not going to do it in front of my wife. I go cry on my own. I didn't say I wouldn't cry at my dad's funeral. I just said I'm not gonna do it in front of my wife.
He's a fucking idiot. He's a village idiot. Oh my God. Somebody performed brain surgery on him. He's a loser.
Is your wife not going to be at your dad's funeral?
No. You know why?
So he's trying to walk back the statement, right? He's doing this cowardly thing where he's trying to run away from what he said. He's like, no, I never said I wouldn't cry at my dad's funeral. Okay, well, what if your wife's there? What, are you going to run and hide in a corner to cry at your dad's? I don't know, bro. Y'all try to make sense of this for me. I don't really understand it, but let's keep watching.
But when stuff hit the road, I need to be strong for my wife. That's all I said.
You don't get your lick back.
God forbid if any future event happened to like a black person, right? Will we see him shed these same tears online for them? Probably not. He's going to come up with everything in the book. Gangster, gang member, drug dealer, prostitute, bitch, whore. And that's exactly what he's going to probably come up with, or just go, it was terrible. But as soon as when it's a Charlie Kirk, I admired him. Everything that he said about black people is true. Fuck him. He's so right. It's like, you fucking loser. Like, you... Fuck you.
This is a sickness of the highest order.
4 million people saw
for
you.
me,
Pause.
you suffer. I think you suffer in silence. That's what I think.
Hey man, this is the loudest silence I ever heard in my life.
No man,
it was
not
snotty. It was. Listen, I need to call the Merriam Dictionary because I don't think that shit's included in silence.
I'm a cry on my own. 4 million people see you.
I was in the military.
But your wife, God forbid your wife sees you.
Yeah.
But 4 million randoms? What are we even discussing right now?
All right, let's finish this clip. I'll move on from Officer Talman. I thought it was meme music at first. I didn't realize.
Time out. Think about this.
Think about that.
Picking coconuts in Barbados.
Thank you.
Yeah, shout out to Walter. He might be a potato, but he definitely gave us some great quotes.
Now, I have cried multiple times because of Charlie's death.
Even admitting that on the internet, of saying that you've cried multiple amount of times for Charlie Kirk's death, even that, saying that is just okay. You know, you're exposing yourself, even though you're saying you're supposed to suffer in silence, and you're not supposed to cry in front of your wife or in front of anybody that's important to you. But you're admitting to the whole world and the internet and your fans that I do cry in front of people. That is not my family or my wife. And it's like, oh man, I'm telling you, this guy and people like him, they no good. Like if you, and that's the fucked up part about it too, because you look up. I wouldn't say you look up to him, but it's just like people who have like a big following like that. You would think they would do some good for maybe the black community or people who really do need like the help and the support. But yet he donates all of his time to like white people. And again, not saying all white people are bad, but he's donating all his time to white people instead of giving his time to where it should be given to. But that's the platform that he has, selling out black people and basically just being an Uncle Tom and a coon and a tap dancer and a bootlicker. So that's what he really is at the end of the day. And that's why people don't really respect him. And I keep saying it. He's a village idiot. A fucking fool.
The only reason I could have turned the feed off, been like, I'm gonna turn the feed off. The only reason I didn't is because I wanted people to understand the raw emotion of what happened with Charlie and that they weren't alone in that particular situation. That for what people were feeling when Charlie died, they weren't alone. And
if you guys aren't aware, so Charlie Kirk was in the hospital after getting shot. People didn't even know if he passed away yet, but he was in critical condition. This man jumped on a live stream to talk about it. Everyone's different. Personally, if my good friend Preach gets shot, I ain't gonna run to you niggas to talk about it. I don't know. I'm not selling t-shirts right after. Everyone's different though. Grieve however you want.
I am. Hey, all right? You get on it and you buy the shirt.
If I'm about to pass away and you on stream already getting them AdSense dollars, yeah, I'm gonna come for you as a ghost. Now he's saying he finds the news out and he starts crying, and now he's like, yeah, the reason why I allowed myself to cry on stream is because like I knew people were sad. And I knew, like, right when they all found out, like I found out, they needed to see me tear up. Don't make it this convoluted thing. Don't try to treat yourself like a hero. You were human. You found out some bad news. You cried. Now you're trying to rewrite history and be like, I knew that everyone needed to see me cry on camera. Guys.
You are not alone.
And let's say I agree with you. Let's say I agree with you that people needed to be seen, right? That's what he's saying right here.
Because I wanted people to understand the raw emotion of what happened with Charlie and that they weren't alone.
I got one more idea for this guy. Do you believe that, and also let me know in the comment section down below, like, do you believe that he's actually just using Charlie Kirk's death? Like, he didn't really gave two shits about him, and he's just only using this just to, you know, get people to talk more about him? Because I know I've seen Stevie Knight say that when he, like a video that he made about the whole memes and shit like that, where he said, oh, it's fucked up that they're making memes and shit like that, and then there was like the I think what do they call it? The Charlie Kirk challenge, right? And he said, oh, I can't believe that they did this. And then more people were saying that, well, they've done this in the past because they've had like the Trayvon Martin challenge, the I Can't Breathe challenge, right? And shit like that. And it's not really new, but to sit there and pretend that it's new is just very asinine to really think about it. But like I said, I look at this guy as probably like one of these other fools out there who never really cared too much about the guy, but just really using his death to just get themselves over and to get more sympathy and more subscribers and more fans to, you know, check out their channel and shit like that. I don't know. It's really weird and stupid and lame to just use somebody's death just to get over, right? And like, yeah, you man, oh yeah, man, he was sad. It was like those little jokes and skits that you see on the internet where they like, your best friend died and your best friend had a banging girlfriend, and then you like, oh man, you know what? Yeah, I miss him too. He was my man's. Yeah, man. Hey, can we get together? Yeah, man, let's get together. You know, like, man, I miss that little nigga, but damn, he's dead. But oh my God, you look good. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's something like that. In my opinion, it could be something like that, but I don't know. It's just he's a weird individual anyway who just said, well, you know, I'm gonna cry in front of the entire world instead of my loved ones or my family, and he thinks that's fine, and then still agrees to the sentiments that he had 2 years ago and says, yeah, I still agree with what I said 2 years ago. It's like, get off the internet, just hang around black people, drink some hot chocolate for Christmas, right? Shut the fuck up and suck on the Twinkie, and you'll be fine.
If you lose your dad or your kid, you don't think your wife wants to know that too? So you want to give that emotion to strangers. You want to make sure that they know that they're not alone, that they're suffering, you understand it.
Thank you.
But your wife who's lost the same child you just lost, you won't cry in front of her. Make that make sense, guys. He wants to comfort strangers, But he don't think he should.
But he doesn't want to find comfort in his wife.
In that particular situation. That for what people were feeling when Charlie died, they weren't alone. And so that I just told him, I didn't tell him to cut the feed. But to try to make a joke out of this and to try to act like it's crazy, man. Because one day, one of these guys are gonna lose somebody that they care about, and people are gonna make fun of them. And to me, it's really nothing to make fun of because I don't really kill. If I want to do it, I could do it if I want to. And if I said that and I do something different later because I changed my mind, that's on me.
But you didn't change your mind. You said you still believe what you believed 2 years ago. So why you bring that up?
They're taking a clip from something I said 2 years ago, and which is not 2 years ago. I believe the same thing today. But my wife has never.
You know, you guys. I'll tell y'all, these people will just rewrite narratives. They'll rewrite reality. They don't care, and they'll just start rolling with the lie and try to have you argue with their lies. What he said is just made up. Nobody laughing at you because you're mourning something. You'll have to do that because you know what.
You know, that's what they all do anyway, because Brandon Tatum is just like how would these Democrats be, where they would sit there and they go, what you talking about? I never said that. What you mean all black people are criminals? I never said that shit. What you saying? It's like, wait, I keep hot sauce on me because of the blacks. What you saying? I never said that shit either. Like, these people is really good at just rewriting reality and changing their own narratives and saying that, you know, this is not what I've actually said. But then they say it 2 minutes later, or they convey it in a different way, but you still mean it in the same way. It's just like these people is just so funny to me. It's just they all clowns, you know, they're all imbeciles because of how the way they try to convey their emotions or how they try to change the situation and make it so it favors them than what the real argument was really about. It's just it's fun.
Makes me think of It makes me think of when you watch Pop the Balloon, and then they pop the balloon, and they keep on going, and when it comes to them, they say some shit that I popped because, and it's something that
had nothing to do with it.
No, they said after they popped. I'm like, no. No. Why did you initially pop?
Because you didn't learn that he didn't have a job.
Yeah, you didn't learn about
after
that
you popped.
until after. What's the initial? Now that it come to you, you want to run it back. Oh no, yeah, it's because of that I did that, not because of no. Because initially you just saw the person and you felt it was shallow, so you changed your intentions.
That's it.
But that's a bit the same thing.
So anybody says, "Oh, Abin preached," y'all were laughing at him, man. Don't let them lie like that. They're just making that shit up. But they need to do that to paint you a certain way.
Seen me cry before. Now, a person can say, "Oh, she watched your live stream and saw you." Maybe she did, maybe she didn't. But I have never cried in front of my wife, and I'm not saying that people won't. It's just saying, what is the compartmentalization of being strong in times of crisis? When Charlie died, that was a small, 15-second experience, but we prayed during the show. I wiped my tears away during the show. I kept broadcasting, and I think,
good boy.
It's nothing, it's nothing wrong with what happened, but yeah, I mean, to me, it's disrespectful to Charlie and his legacy that y'all think it's funny if somebody were to tear up because Charlie died.
Wow. So technically, nobody was really laughing at Charlie Kirk's death except for like the sickles on the internet. The moral of the story here is that they wasn't laughing at Charlie Kirk's death. They was really laughing at you because you're a village idiot and shit like that, and the things that you said in this entire video just made you look stupid. Maybe certain things that could be argued or debated, but majority of the things you said in this video made you look stupid. So that's what they was pretty much laughing about. Ah, man. This is funny. You know what he needs right now? He needs this.
One custard pie? Let me have it.
All right, so here's the second one. Now he's trying to make it about like, oh, these guys are trying to disrespect Charlie by pointing out my hypocrisy, right? So you see how they try to frame it in the way that they can win? Because, God forbid, these guys, they were making fun of the dead. That's what he's trying to do now.
Yeah, 100%.
It hit different, bro, when Charlie died.
Why Charlie Kirk is my white daddy.
Oh, okay, that's disrespectful. Yeah, that was unnecessary. Let me play it back.
Why Charlie Kirk is my white daddy? Why you gotta be a white daddy? Kirk my daddy. Kirk my daddy. Your white daddy. My favorite color is
You cowards that just want content to be made. I would never understand y'all. You guys take something that happened 2 months ago, referring to a video 2 years before that, to make content. Y'all suckers, man. And I no longer support I've been preach. You know, it's fair game
We
to
took
criticize.
something from 2 years ago that you still think today about a situation that happened not long ago.
Moral of the story is don't be a village idiot like Brandon Tatum, right? Don't sell out your own community. Don't sell out black people, right? If you're Hispanic, don't sell out Spanish people. If you're Asian, don't sell out Asian people, right? Remain strong to your community. Remain strong to your beliefs, right? Don't be an idiot like him, and you'll be fine. You'll be absolutely fine. Be humble, be respectful, right? Be cherishable, right? Always keep an eye to things, right? One eye open to things, right? And you'll be fine. But if you got guys like him who's basically saying, "Oh, they was laughing at Charlie Kirk, and they didn't understand my pain. I'll cry in front of anybody except for my family, but I cry anyway. I cry in silence. Don't you cry in silence?" It's like, you an imbecile. You are a fucking joke, right? Nobody's not gonna care if one day your wife leaves you. Everybody's gonna be making jokes about that shit if it ever happens, right? Because you're an idiot and an imbecile, right? Hopefully your day is horrible. Now let me stop. This was a great video. Make sure you like, make sure you subscribe, and I catch you all in the next one. Peace.